Alice in Borderland. So this is a pretty big Netflix show that came out back in 2020. It's a suspenseful thriller drama kind of Japanese show where we follow our main character Arisu, therefore Alice. Arisu, it's like basically the same, and is in through his suspenseful journey where initially it seems like everyone just vanishes from Tokyo and everyone except for his friends disappear. The power is shut off. They're all alone. They can't find anyone. And when night falls, they're there all alone, thinking everything is gone. When suddenly, like a building in the distance, like flashes up, and they start walking towards the light. When they get to the building, they find out. They enter. They find some smartphones, and then they find out that they're in some kind of game, or that a game has begun, is what they're told. A woman comes over and explains that like it's a game, you can't go back, and they have to get into an elevator. This is where the show truly begins, as we're taken into this game. And as we come to find out, these games is what this world is all about, and what this show is all about. Because you have these games where if you lose the game, you die. In any game, if you lose, you die. And there's different grades of games and different difficulties. And mostly they have like some kind of clever solution to them, but it's not given that you could avoid loss of life in any of the games. Some have physical elements to them, and some are more just mental. But common for all of them is losing means death. I can't really tell anything or give any more description to hook you, except because that would give like major spoilers for this kind of show. But I would say it hooks you pretty good from the get-go, and you're pretty quickly invested. For the characters, I found the main lead Arisu to be okay, and a few of the side characters are like a bit weak maybe, because I feel like they're not fleshed out very well. The show has some graphic violence in it because these games are life or death, and in some of them they are literally like about death. There's like one guy on one team and one guy on another team, and it's basically a death match. And so I wouldn't like recommend this if you're very faint of heart. It's got some blood. It's got some people die in this. There's a reason why it's like not recommended for young people, like kids. But I feel like they use the violence really well. It really portrayed like this feeling of that this is a world you've been taken to. It's pretty grim. It's a lot of danger. And part of the death part is if you don't play in the games, you will die, which is quite bad. I feel like as the story progressed in like the second half, the show fell off quite a bit. But some might like it instead. I'd be interested to hear what other people thought, but I felt like it had a really strong start, gripped really well, and then started to fade. And because in like the second part, I feel like the games aren't as much in focus anymore, and I feel like the way the games worked was really, really strong. Still, overall, I would say like the show is really solid. But the tailing off at the end makes me like give it a 7 out of 10, I feel. A bright spot is that like when the show ended, it left me feeling like I want a second season, and I was like checking like, is second season happening? And it seems like it is. So I'm looking forward to the second season. But I feel like even though it left me wanting more, which is more than I can say for a couple of other shows I've said it's 7 out of 10, the tailing off towards the middle and towards the end, like I felt like that made it like drop off too much, so I couldn't justify putting it any higher than 7.